Yo! I made a top 10 horror movies of all time part 2 video the other day, and I said I was going to again since it was October, and I said I would wait until October to do it, and it's October, whatever day of October it is today. And I thought I would go ahead and just make a part 3 of that. So this video is going to be top 10 horror movies of all time, part 3. Hopefully you'll find something you want to watch this Halloween, or you'll find a brand new favorite movie of all time for you. But yeah, with all of that out of the way, and you actually knowing what this video is now, I guess we can just jump right into it with number 10. Number 10 is Waxwork. This actually made my top 5 horror movies for you to watch this Halloween. If you want to go check out that movie, definitely go check it out. I think this is the only one that made it onto that list that isn't, on this list. But yeah, Waxwork is really good. It's just people go to this wax museum. It's free. They go in, and if you walk into the wax setups or whatever, it takes you into whatever world it is. There's vampires, zombies, werewolves, there's a witch, there's a really weird BDSM vampire. It's a cool movie, and Waxwork 2 is even cooler and a lot wackier, and it has Bruce Campbell. So I mean, Waxwork 2 is cool too, but this first one is definitely better, I think. Number 9 is The Wraith. This movie has Charlie Sheen whenever he's super young. I don't remember knowing any of the other actors, but yeah, it's basically just this dude gets murdered. Everyone thinks it's his brother that comes back, and he got murdered by like a gang or whatever. And Charlie Sheen comes back to town. Nobody knows who he is, and he is the reincarnated ghost version thing of the person that got killed. It's a cool movie. It's weird and hard to understand in some parts, but it lays it all out for you at the end and tells you what's going on. But yeah, this is just a really good movie. And if you're watching it and, you find yourself really, really wanting to own the car that is in this movie, apparently it was made specifically for this movie, which is absolutely awesome. And yeah, I'm right there with you. This car looks absolutely beautiful and just so badass. Number 8 is Slumber Party Massacre 2. This movie's really good. It's funny. Most of it is a recap of Slumber Party Massacre 1, which might annoy everyone, but I think it's fine enough. And I think the killer definitely bumps it up a lot in this. It's the Driller Killer, and he's a guitar drill using killer. I mean, he's like a dream demon like Freddy. He has a dance sequence, which is just absolutely amazing. It's just a really, really fun movie, and it's just really, really cool, man. Look at that guitar at the drill. That's so awesome. The number 7 spot goes to Wishmaster. Wishmaster is a huge mashup of horror legends. We got Kane Hodder, Tony Todd, Robert Englund, the dude who plays the Wishmaster. I don't know his name. He's in the show Lost. If you like Lost, you'll probably know who he is. This is just a really, really good movie. It's got, like I said, a whole bunch of horror legends. It's a djinn, if you don't know what that is. It's a genie, but they're usually called jinn whenever they're evil. And it's basically just a monkey paw type of situation where if you say, I wish, and then whatever, he lets you have your wish, In this movie, Kane Hodder is a security guard at I can't remember what it is, but he goes, Kane Hodder goes, you can't get past me, I wish you'd try, or something like that, and he just turns him into the door. He gets sucked into the glass, and he's just stuck there, and then he walks past him. It's such a cool movie, with some really, really cool kills, and the ending is just, dude, such good practical effects. The ending is just a huge, just mashup of horrifying looking different special effects and everything. It's beautiful. Party of the century, honestly. Number 6 is Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 1 is an absolutely amazing movie. They went full on horror. It still stands up today. It's still horrifying even today. And Evil Dead 2 is the first one that they went with for more of a horror comedy thing. I think they actually got it down perfect for the horror and comedy like mashup. This is basically Evil Dead 2.0, not just 2, because it's basically the same exact movie, but going in a different direction, of being a little bit funnier, dark comedy, stuff like that, and changing up the characters that's in it. It's a really good movie. It's definitely basically Evil Dead 1.5, though, if we're being honest with the plot and everything. But yeah, this is still a very good movie. Definitely watch it, especially if you like horror comedies in any way, fashion, or form. It's just an amazing horror comedy, and honestly, horror movie in general. Number 5 is yet another movie that takes place in a cabin in the woods, and it is called The Cabin in the Woods. This is an amazing movie. It has so many throwbacks to a whole bunch of different horror monsters, and some that they even created just for this. It's just so good. The eraser board with all the names of the monsters that they were betting on is a huge meme, like even outside of the horror community, but especially in the horror community. This is just an amazing movie. This seemed like the horror movie to end all horror movies, just because of how perfect it is, and it brings in so many different genres, and it just deconstructs the entire slasher genre as a whole, and it's just really funny and good. It's got Chris Hemsworth in it, and I think one of his earliest roles. I don't really know. I don't really keep up with any actors, roles and stuff, but I think this is one of his earliest, and he's actually really, really good in this. He's hilarious in this movie, and his death is pretty funny. It would have been even funnier if they didn't show the eagle hit the shield in the beginning, but it's fine, whatever. But yeah, I think this movie is just so good, and the monster designs. Okay, I don't know if any of you know this about me, but I absolutely love creature design. I am a writer and kind of an artist. I like drawing and stuff, but I'm not good at it. And just creating creatures in general is one of my favorite things to do, even if it's just in my story, just like writing about them and everything. It's just so fun. And this movie blew my mind with some of the designs for these creatures. They're just so cool, and they have throwbacks to the Cenobites from Hellraiser and stuff. And if you've watched my part 1 or 2 of this series, then you probably know how I feel about Hellraiser in general. But this is such a good movie, man. If you watch any of these movies on here, definitely watch Cabin in the Woods. This will probably give you, if you don't like horror, this will give you a new found love for horror. I honestly genuinely think that. Number 4 is The Black Phone, starring Ethan Hawke. If you don't know who that is, he's from Sinister, a whole bunch of movies. Man, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and name all of his movies, but Sinister is the main one I know him from, and this, obviously. He plays the killer, and this is just a really good movie. I'm pretty sure the book that this is based off of was written by Stephen King's son, and you can really tell that it was written in the same style of Stephen King, because it is basically a Stephen King movie, to be honest. It's about a kid who gets kidnapped, and then a whole bunch of ghost kids help him figure out how to, like, fight and stuff, and the killer ends up being super, super easy to kill by the end, but I mean, it's fine. But yeah, this is just a really good movie. It's just really cool. There's some psychic stuff in it, which also, that's a very Stephen King thing, especially with The Shining and everything. But yeah, it's a really good movie, man. It's really cool. I think this one is so high up on this list just because I actually watched it in theaters with my father, and it was, I don't know, it was really fun to just watch a horror movie in theaters. And I think that this is just a genuinely good movie. Ethan Hawke is amazing in this movie, but I mean, he's amazing in everything I've watched him in, so I mean, no surprises there, I guess. And now we're up to the top 3. These are the movies that are the cream of the crop, brother. The true cream of the crop. But yeah, In the Mouth of Madness, if you don't know what this is a John Carpenter film, and one of my favorites. If I had to make a list, or a tier list or something, of John Carpenter films, which I might, just because I like John Carpenter, he's one of my favorite directors ever. The next movie is actually made by my second favorite director ever, I'm fairly certain, or first. He's always fighting for the top, but that's the next spot. This spot is In the Mouth of Madness. Like I said, John Carpenter directed it, and this is just a really good movie. It's got the dude from, where's he from? I'm pretty sure he's from Jurassic Park, is the main character, but that's besides the point. The dude is a writer. He goes to a town, and He figures out a whole bunch of weird stuff is going on, and then he eventually figures out everything he writes comes to life, and he goes insane and gets taken to an insane asylum, and since he's not writing, the end of the world has come, or something. It's a really weird movie. I honestly need to rewatch it because I can't remember it perfectly, but it is so good, man. It's just so good. I love Lovecraftian stories. Like I said, I'm a writer. If you have seen, on the Stories from the Void playlist, I have a whole bunch of stories, and one of them is Beyond the Veil, and that is the most Lovecraftian thing you will ever read other than, like, actual Lovecraft work. So I obviously love Lovecraftian stories and stuff. And this is about as Lovecraftian as you can get without actually being written by H.P. Lovecraft. And it's just so good, man. It's genuinely impressive how good this movie is. And, I mean, obviously, he made my top 3, and I have perfect taste in films. Number 2 spot goes to Suspiria. And, like I said last number, Dario Argento is one of my favorite directors ever. I love giallo movies. I think Italian films in general just go complete berserk mode sometimes, most of the time, whenever it comes to their films and stuff, because I don't think they have any restrictions whenever it comes to stuff like that. They're absolutely insane over there. But yeah, Suspiria is just an amazing witch movie. I've been meaning to watch the remake. Everyone says it's really good. I don't think it'll ever top this, but everyone says it is good. So I have been wanting to watch that. If I do, I'll do a full-on review for it. But this original one, peak. Absolute peak. It's so good. The lighting and just the design for the school that they're in and everything, it's so good, man. The witches flying above them, above the blind dude before the dog grabs onto his throat and eats him is so cool. And the design for the main witch is really cool. Everything about this movie is so awesome. And the first kill, oh my god, dude, peak, man. Dude, you don't understand. This is such a good movie. She gets stabbed, like cord wrapped around her throat, and then jammed through a ceiling of pane glass, and it shatters and falls, and then she falls on it. That's so cool, man. This movie is actually really good. Definitely check this out. Like, I mean, even if you don't like Italian films, like giallo films and stuff like that, check this out, please. It's like a witch film disguised as a giallo film, and it's so good. Oh my god, it's so good, man. And the number 1 spot goes to something that I think a lot of people might actually be mad about. I don't think a lot of actual, like, horror fanatics are going to be upset about this, but I think a lot of just casual horror fans might be, just because I feel like actual horror fanatics knows that. Well, I guess I should just jump into it with the first Exorcist movie is kind of overrated compared to a lot of other movies. Everyone always asks, what's your favorite horror movie and stuff, and a lot of people will just jump to Exorcist because it's like the most famous. Just because you're the most famous or influential does not mean you're the best. The Exorcist 3, I think, is a far superior film than the original Exorcist. I just love it. The only thing that I don't like about this movie is, well, the exorcism at the end. It seems like it's just ham-fisted into it. This is a better sequel to The Exorcist than Exorcist 2, I think. And this is just a very, very good movie. Brad Dourif, I'm pretty sure that's his name. Yeah, Brad Dourif, and then, yeah. I always get him and Doug Bradley mixed up, because Doug Bradley was Pinhead, and Brad Dourif is Chucky. But Brad Dourif plays a serial killer in this, and, he possesses the main priest that actually survives in the original Exorcist, and that's basically all it's about. He's in the asylum. One of the greatest jump scares in film history comes from this movie. A nurse, it's a still shot of a nurse going down hallways, checking rooms and everything. She closes a door, walks away, the door opens, and a weird white nun, like wearing a white outfit, comes out with shears that are like spring locked, so they like clip really fast, I guess is what they are. That's how they explain it, basically. But it's a good jump scare, I guess. It's just a really good jump scare. This is just a really good movie, and I know I'm probably gonna make a lot of people mad with me saying that this is better than the original Exorcist, but go watch the other two parts of this series, the top 10 horror movies of all time, because it didn't make any of those either. But sorry, I guess. I think it's a pretty overrated movie. Don't get me wrong, it's an amazing movie, but it's not the best horror movie ever made, or the scariest, especially not anymore. But I will respect it for what it achieved at its time and everything. It's a really good movie, just not the best movie, and I think it's extremely overhyped, especially now. It probably was the scariest movie ever then, but now it's just, I mean, it's a good movie, but it's not scary whatsoever. Especially if you are like a horror fanatic or even just a casual horror fan. But yeah, that's the end of this list. I hope you liked the video, and I genuinely hope I don't make anyone like super mad about the hot take on Exorcist. I don't even know if it's a hot take anymore, but like that, I don't know. That's just my opinion, and I genuinely think it's the correct opinion, just because there are objectively movies that have been made that are scarier, like objectively scarier and objectively better in the horror genre. And it's, I don't know, it just seems like it's taking away from the accomplishments of other horror filmmakers and just horror in general, and saying that that's the scariest or the best made or something. I don't know, man. But yeah, and my list, I don't even know what I'm saying. My list is filled with stuff that is objectively not as good as The Exorcist, like the first movie, but I just love it. So obviously, I shouldn't be speaking on what's objective or not, because a lot of my choices were probably insane to most of you whenever it comes to why I like them and stuff. But yeah, I love these movies, and I hope you'll give them a chance, at least, just to try them out. Definitely check out Cabin in the Woods if you are a horror fan, or even if you're not, because it is genuinely just a really good movie, like horror comedy. It's just really good in general. But yeah, hopefully this helps you find horror movies for you to watch during the, October Halloween season. Soon, the greatest holiday ever will be back. October 31st. Yay! I'm getting ready for Halloween. Man, I'm getting hyped for it too. More horror videos are to come out during the month of October and after. Obviously, I love horror. I mean, obviously. So there's going to be a part 4 to this probably sometime later this month. And I have a few other stuff that I'm wanting to do. I might do a horror film director tier list or something like that. Might do an even bigger horror villain or something tier list. Might do a horror survivor tier list. I don't know. Comment if you have any ideas for other videos I should do. But yeah, like, subscribe, comment, tell me what your favorite horror movie is, and just see ya.